Test. Is it working? So what is going on YouTube is it's been nearly 2 weeks since my previous swimming session, so I reckon I feel like making another video. Though I don't really have a lot to talk about in depth, other than anti-natalism, retirement plans, and the shitty nature of life itself, blah blah blah. Yeah, and yeah, it's the 1st of July 2024 at Australian Eastern Standard Time. So yeah, so basically why I titled this live stream "You Are Parents' Retirement Plans." It is what it is, basically. So parents, they reproduce for various reasons, but the most practical, the most pragmatic motive I reckon they tend to have is to have a rather something like a safety net, and insurance plan of some sort, aka retirement plans, and they reproduce to make it part of their reality, so that they can have something or someone to count on. Sadly, we can't do much to stop human individuals from procreating, can we? It's our hardwired / built-in innate functionality to do so, to just bang, bang, bang. And it's just sad. It freaking sucks to have an existential, to have a crisis of struggling with what it means to live this life, what sort of purpose or meanings to live for while you are still breathing, And, well, there aren't many things, we can do for fun, really, no matter your nationality, your ethnicity, or your socio-economic status. For example, I, more than not, yes, I tend to, I just, well, most recently, I don't really play StarCraft 2. I don't play, video games for fun that much, most recently, though, But still, I do, yes. I did play Shadow of the Tomb Raider a couple of times recently. When I got super duper bored. And yesterday, yesterday and the day before, I managed to resist a rather strong urge, a rather strong impulse to just use the kitchen knife and chop my own head, you know. But today, I felt, I won't say marginally better, but somewhat better. At least I am not lying in bed and playing with my iPad and, scrolling on YouTube. But instead, yeah, I'm sitting here filming another video. But there aren't really much we can do, to have fun in this shitty life on this shitty planet we call Earth. Other than um, things that are, you know, things we do that have become a rather commonplace or common practice to kill some time. And in fact, I do kind of have plenty of time to kill. If you take my next mission of Exodus / adventure into account, then I do kind of consider my current time, a rather a rather piece of trash, piece of garbage, essentially. In which I just do whatever I can to to kill the time, to kill the boredom and the urge, the intrusive thoughts to either hang or use the kitchen knife to off myself. Yeah. Other than that, there isn't really much we can do, to kill the time or to kill the boredom and stress. Last night I did manage to to do the what with my sex doll. Yeah, and managed to blow off some steam. And made myself a little more presentable in front of my adopted mom / one of my aunts when she came to visit me again and cooked me some dinner and had some small talks about life in general, about, yes, well, specifically something about retirement, something about my one of my uncle's retirement plans, and hence it somewhat inspired me to make this live stream happen. Well, in terms of retirement plans for myself, my current strategy remains saving money as much as possible, and with a bit of well, that's assuming you have a fair amount of surplus then what I suggest you do is invest them into precious metals such as buying gold or silver or platinum, maybe buying some relics or artifacts or something like that. But other than that, my retirement plans is pretty much non-existent, and hence my future looks so bleak, so grim. Though I don't reckon I'd live that long. I may not have much time before I officially and technically kick my bucket. And as a result, I am, well, despite I kept mentioning and repeating the term, the word, to kill time, I still try my best to make the best of my remaining shitty life, since you'd never know when exactly and how exactly you are going to kick your bucket. Well, I hope it will. I hope it will be a relatively painless and decent looking process. But other than that, I seriously don't have much to look forward to in this life. Since I don't plan to get married, I don't plan to reproduce. That's at least for the time being, that's a big no. Yeah, though I do have plans, to maybe, if God willing, maybe buy a piece of real estate somewhere else, using the money I've earned with my own hands, as my ultimate retirement plan, where I won't have anyone to look after me but myself. And yeah, so well, in case I do manage to inherit some money from my old man, and assuming I do manage to sell some of his stamps and thus um, somehow convert them into cash, then yeah, that may just bring me some relief and make my own retirement plans more solid, more reliable, per se. But other than that, yeah, there's no future to look forward to, and there are no no tangible hope to hope for in terms of well, if you still have the most rudimentary knowledge of economics and monetary system, then you will soon realize that the more you try to save, well, the more money you try to save, the faster it depreciates, aka degrades or decreases in value. Well, that's assuming you put all the eggs in one basket, in one single account, and failed to diversify. Yeah, but it's just shit. The world we live in is just pure shit. Even the fact that my adopted mom, some of my aunts, looks after me from time to time, keeps reminding me of suspicion that she wants an alternative retirement plan for herself. Though though it might be just my own selfish and highly 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 speculative suspicion, but you have to admit to a fact that no matter what sort of good looks you do, you either explicitly or implicitly hope to get something in return, or you hope the other party may sometime on some day reciprocate in kind. Welcome, Shadow Region. Welcome to my channel and welcome back to my live stream. We have no other option but to keep trying to make it. Projecting into the future is mostly useless as it is unpredictable. I thought my life was over when I was wrong. Terrible things happen also. Terrible things happen also to people who are apparently doing great. Yeah, I can't argue with that. Yes, there are plenty of sudden death, plenty of sudden deaths that occurred, to celebrities that looked fairly healthy and fit, just almost right before kicked their sudden buckets. Yes, there are plenty. Though some media don't tend to report it so openly, or they from time to time just downplay, or choose to either downplay or choose to simply ignore some basic facts. What's going on? Anxiety hangout. How are you doing? Yeah. Basically, this streaming session it's just about another rant. Since I don't really have a bunch of specific topics I have on mind to talk about. Other than the existing and ongoing shitstorm in the world and around me. Yeah, it's quite meaningless, to worry about the future. or future in general that much, since an asteroid or a meteorite could just land, could just clash with planet Earth, and crush everyone here into dust. Yeah, into star dust. into a nebula, into a nebula, or orbiting the core of the Milky Way. Yeah. Yes, sometimes I do also, look up some, I also, read and look up some, something about astronomy online. Well, including but not limited to Wikipedia, to kill some time, to kill the boredom. In particular, when I kind of suffer from insomnia, I look, or something amazing could happen to you, it happened to me, but you must expose yourself, although it is hard. Just got here. Should I be worried about nuclear war? I don't really worry about a nuclear war, since even if it's bound to happen, it doesn't seem so imminent to me. And once you say, once you wait for your local authorities to issue you a formal warning or order to evacuate, by the time you receive an evacuation warning, it's already too late for you to evacuate most of the time. If I have, well, had I not misjudged based on my current knowledge of a nuclear war or nuclear apocalypse, since shit just hits the fan all of a sudden, you never know when exactly it can hit the fan. So yeah, that's another another point to take note of when it comes to worrying about the future and making plans about the future. It's kind of pointless, to worry and plan, to worry about and plan for the future. Though yes, we can still do it. We can still draft plans for the future. For to certain extent, for the sake of our pleasure and entertainment. And on the other hand, we can make plans for the future to kill some time, to kill some boredom, like what I, from time to time tend to do during my own garbage time, super duper idle time. Yeah. Yeah, well, good for you. Kudos to Shadow Region. Yeah, something amazing, since something amazing happened to you. Yeah. Would you care to elaborate on that a little bit? Maybe you managed to find your your soulmate or your unicorn. I know, but Well, I have, long time ago stopped be- believing in true love, in the notion of seeking your soulmate, aka your, hunting for a unicorn. Well, but that doesn't mean that I will suggest you stop trying. Yes, you can still try, but by all means, be my guest to try to hunt for your unique unicorn or your soulmate. Um, but it doesn't really spell much pleasure or sense of purpose or meaning to me. I basically was jobless, shut in failure at 30 plus. I exposed myself, found work, found love, etc. I stopped believing in romantic love when my parents got divorced. Yeah, it's quite prevalent, not just in the Western world, but also in Asia, in countries like Japan, China, Singapore, blah blah blah. There are, there are multitudes after multitudes of couples are getting, there are currently multitudes after multitudes, loads and loads of couples getting divorced as we speak. And in fact, well, as a matter of fact, I reckon getting married also kind of counts as a sort of retirement plan, if you catch my drift, since you by getting married you essentially um, you essentially enter into a legal, a legally binding contract in which you and your partner, your spouse, ought to look to take care of one another. Um, and basically, that basically, a marriage contract occurs on the basis of reciprocity. Yeah. My father had a mental illness, which is why they got divorced. Your mom sounds like an utter asshole to me, since she seemed to divorce your old man solely because your old man had mental illness, and just because yeah, it's so messed up. So jibai. Really, it's now, nowadays, life itself has become like, like I said, and simply a process, a mundane and repetitive and excruciatingly long process in which I do everything I can to kill the time and boredom and the stress, you know. But seriously, yeah, the well, once you got broke, your options to kill time even narrows, like me, in fact, I am still kind of hesitating, on whether I should just, use my existing savings to buy myself a new sex doll, since my current one's twat got broken, and hence, I can't, penetrate her without getting my dick cut. Well, I can still penetrate. Well, yes, yes, I can still penetrate her. But it will mean that I risk getting my dick cut and bleed to death. But I did, yes. Though last night, I did the what to her again and managed to, and managed not to get myself physically hurt. It still poses a risk. Yeah, and yes, like I said, I'm still hesitating whether I should use my existing handful amount of savings to fund my next mission of exodus to Japan, or just buy myself a new sex doll. What do you guys reckon? I live with my sister. That's the company I want. She's pretty cool. Yeah. Well, so long as you are happy, who am I to judge? It is your business to to decide whom to live with, whom to hang around with, whom to play with. who am I to judge? Yeah, I would recommend throw away. I would recommend throw away your sex dolls completely. Well, I wish I could. I wish I could. Do you know what a lucid dream is? Yes, I know what a lucid dream is. Possibly I might have had some lucid dreams on several occasions. Use the money to go to Japan or other or other country. Yeah, it's just it's just a few $1,000. How far can I go with just $1,000? With just a few $1,000. Yes, it certainly suffices. It certainly suffices more than to head to Japan and bang a few local ladies. But that's that's pretty much all it. You can't do much with a few $1,000. There are cheaper countries. Go to the cheapest one. Yes, there definitely are. Say for example, most typically speaking, Thailand. Yeah, definitely there are cheaper alternatives. Though you will have to take the risks involved into account. Lest you get into trouble, such as STDs, you know. Yeah, there are plenty of folks who you know who are having fun in Thailand, and you know the food is great. You can get plenty of plenty of plenty of you know cost effective and tasty food in Thailand. Yes, can't argue with that. Yeah, but yeah, I just you know don't want to go there for you know for the sole sake of getting myself laid. Yeah, in other words, you know, I want to you know to to have some to get some shit done, you know, on top of on top of getting myself laid. You can even sleep on the fucking on the fucking bitch, and yeah, Jesus Christ, life just freaking sucks. Yeah, and speaking of God, yeah, like I said, I have stopped simping for God. Um, you know, but that doesn't necessarily mean that I've stopped believing in God. I still kind of do believe in God, but you know, I've stopped believing in the fact that God will make my life better. You know, well, at least you know, I you know, I kind of you know, I kind of you know got scanned you know by Christianity. Right, you know, sometime before I got baptized and got slash indoctrinated into believing. Yeah, you know the you know a former friend of mine back in Malaysia um, persuaded me, you know, to get baptized, to believe in Jesus. I kind of, you know, got scanned, but you know, nowadays since you know, it's quite irreversible. You know, it's yeah, it's freaking shit. You know, at this point, you know, I can only, you know, hope and pray for a swift, painless, and decent looking death, and then, you know, hope to sleep peacefully forever instead of going to heaven. That's pretty much what I been, you know, praying to God for on a daily, well, not exactly on a daily basis, but almost on a daily basis. Yeah, but other than that, yeah, it's so freaking selfish, freaking freaking shit to reproduce, to bring children into this hostile and cruel and ruthless world. Just stop, man. Just wear a hat. Wear a hat on your freaking dick and stop being a prick. Stop being a prick by wearing a hat on your freaking dick whenever you have sexual intercourse. Yeah. Let me repeat that. Stop being a prick. Stop being a brick. Stop being a. Start by weighing a hat on your freaking dick whenever you have sexual intercourse. What would you say to all the lonely people who get sick of life? Yeah, just try to have as much fun as you can. Yeah. If you if you can get high, go get high. You know, if you have access to euthanasia, if you have access to euthanasia, go for it. I won't stop you. It's if you do believe that you have nothing to love, nothing to to look forward to in this shitty life, then yeah, I wholeheartedly support euthanasia. Even as a Christian, yes, I wholeheartedly support euthanasia. Yeah, it's freaking shit. Parents have parents reproduce, to gratify their selfish wants, including but are not limited to showing off to their peers, having someone to rely upon as part of their retirement plans, or just to get to get that high, to get that sense of sovereignty, sense of to gratify their wants of staying in control, and that makes it pretty much differs very little from the psychology of a necrophile, of a of a necrophiliac. Yeah. Well, as far as I can see, I just try. I just try and live in the moment. What I can do in this moment to make my life a little more bearable. Likewise, man, that's pretty much precisely what I have been doing too. Yeah. There aren't, like I said, there aren't many options for for you, to have fun, to kill the boredom, to just, even when you are suffering, even when you are experiencing a lot of unbearable, a lot of literally unbearable afflictions, and excruciating agony, you know, like I, I no longer have good days. I just have, days that are less hostile towards me, in which, I feel less shit, and just a tiny bit of motivation or desire to do something, seemingly productive, such as reading aloud some books, or making videos, or making a bit of cold calls to people I just don't know. Yeah, it's freaking shit, man. Just stop taking life so seriously. Stop taking God. Stop taking life and death so seriously. When you die, you die. When the time comes, it comes. There's a time for like the Bible says. There's a time for everything. A time a time a time to mourn and a time to dance. A time for war and time for peace. A time to a time to be merry and a time to grieve, or time to mourn. Yeah. So yeah, other than trying to make loneliness your friend, also bear in mind to make time your friend as well. Yeah. In any regards, yeah, guys, thank you very much for sending some messages and showing up to my live stream. Yeah, and thank you very much for watching and listening to my rant. I suppose I've talked enough, so yeah. If God's still willing, I know it sounds cliche, but yeah. Thank you for your time. Take care. Have a good day or a lovely night. Cheers. Stay safe. Bye.